And so we have a match here between Marcelo Garcia and Jake Shields. It's kind of from a while back, but a very good match nonetheless. And here we have Marcelo passing half guard on Jake Shields, and one of the things that he doesn't have is an underhook, right? So when you're passing half guard, most of the time you'd like a far side underhook, which is just whatever the free leg is. You can see here, this is the free leg for Marcelo Garcia. He would like to have a left arm underhook on this side in order to be able to flatten Jake out, and you can see that Jake's not flattened out right here. There's definitely an angle that goes towards the floor there. And his shoulders are up off the ground. So in this situation, Jake has good leverage in order to try to use his underhook to get up to a single leg or to just get up towards the back. And so Marcelo Garcia either needs to fight for that underhook or he needs to perform a hip switch. And the hip switch is a great option for any time that the pummeling for the underhook becomes too difficult or just really unattainable. So he's going to do that hip switch really quick here. So as you can see, doesn't really have the underhook here, immediately hip switches, and then he's going to start messing with the feet, right? So he's going to try to unentangle his feet here with his left arm, but at the same time he's going to have to manage Jake because Jake technically has a minor underhook here, and it's because during the hip switch, right, you give up any kind of underhook that you had in order to flip your hips so that now the hips are facing towards this way, and then you're going to have the arm over the top. And this arm right here, the one that's kind of shielded in the video by Marcelo Garcia's body, the arm that goes wraps around that way, that one technically is a bit of an underhook, but it's just majorly neutralized by the body position of Marcelo Garcia. And so if Marcelo is not balanced, especially if this leg right here stays too tucked in and his hips are flat on the floor, then he has a chance of getting bucked over that direction with a hard bridge, right? And so that's what he has to manage. He has to either manage in being able to take this leg out to stabilize, or he needs to be able to use his right arm as a cross face against Jake Shields' face in order to fix those kind of bridges and bucks that happen. So you see Marcelo Garcia's tactic here is just to use his right arm to manage the cross face every time that Jake Shields tries to come up. And you can see the underhook now quite a bit better from this side. Jake Shields has this like technical, he has this technical underhook right here underneath, although the arm here from Marcelo Garcia is really making that a weak underhook and not one that he necessarily wants to have. So as we continue through here, Jake Shields is going to try to get up onto a single. He's going to try to kind of continue turning in, trying to look for the single or to look to just get up to his hands and knees. And then from here, the cross face gets implemented. So he's going to cross face him, he's going to push him back down to the floor, and then use his hips to stabilize, cross face again, and then hips will come back in to stabilize as he hip switches here. So cross face, then re-hip switch in order to keep somebody down. That's the methodology that Marcelo Garcia is using. And then here he switches to the guillotine. So as we go back just a little bit, here he's going between the cross face and the hip switch in order to keep Jake Shields on his back. And then as soon as Jake Shields makes his next move to get up, Marcelo is going to switch back, and instead of going cross face again, he's going to go straight for the guillotine here because Jake's not defending. So he goes straight for the guillotine right there, and then now he's going to be able to try to free his left leg because currently he has his right leg free right over here. Right leg's free, left leg is not. Left leg's still entangled in half guard, but he has the guillotine wrap right here, and that's what's going to be important in a minute. Now, Jake Shields can get out of this. He just makes a critical error here, and we'll talk about what that is. So he's looking for the guillotine here. Marcelo Garcia is viciously good at this, and he's going to use the instep of his foot right here to try to free the half guard. And then he goes away from that, just trying to crank on the guillotine a little bit. And then now Jake Shields, you can see, Jake Shields' arm is coming in right here. Now, this is a really good thing, and especially since it's getting deeper, it's showing that the guillotine is getting weaker. And Jake Shields is noticing that. But he goes too early for bailing on the defense to the guillotine with this arm to an escape. And his escape is the single leg. But because he has not finished defending the guillotine and getting it off his neck, when he switches to the single leg right here, he gets rolled back over, and then he gets finished from mount with the guillotine. So it's kind of a error just in how fast you switch from defending your neck to escaping. Is always kind of a critical balance between those two things, and you shouldn't switch too early.